time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Welcome everyone to Earth Changes News for September 29th, 2011. Today I want to talk about a few stories. There's a typhoon in Vietnam right now after hitting Hong Kong. And there's also a storm in the Philippines. So without any further delay, let's get into it. It seems that Typhoon Nisat threatens Vietnam after Hong Kong and Hainan. So it says Typhoon Nisat threatens Vietnam after Hong Kong and Hainan. A typhoon that caused death and destruction in the Philippines and shut down Hong Kong is now heading towards the coast of Vietnam. About 100,000 homes were evacuated on the southern Chinese island of Hainan as Typhoon Nisat threatened to cause landslides. Fishing boats in northern Vietnam have been ordered to return to port as the storm approaches. The typhoon killed at least 39 people in the Philippines. The Chinese authorities on Hainan Island called boats back to port, suspended flights and ferry services, and closed schools. Typhoon Nisat made landfall in Hainan's Weichang City, packing winds of up to 150 kilometers per hour, or that's 93 miles per hour. The typhoon forced the Hong Kong Stock Exchange and most businesses and schools there to close on Thursday as it swept past the territory, bringing howling winds, torrential rain, and rough seas. All ferry and some bus services were also canceled, and trains operated at a reduced frequency. There were also a few people on the streets with 100 km/h winds, shredding umbrellas and making it hard to walk. Local radio reports that 2 people, including a taxi driver, were injured when a scaffolding collapsed on the taxi. And a large cargo barge crashed into the seafront after slipping off its moorings, television footage showed. About 50 people had to be evacuated from a nearby block or flats. Neighboring Macau was also affected, with schools and businesses closed, but the city's glittering casinos remained open for the tourists who managed to get there. So the casinos were open, everything else was pretty much messed up. They're probably running on backup generators like most casinos. So that's the first story I wanted to get to. The second story I want to get to is also dealing with a storm. Let's talking about that. And that's the storm in the Philippines right now. Hurricane Queel, I think. It says Queel intensifies and enters the Philippine territory. It says Tropical Storm Queel intensified as it entered the Philippine area of responsibility before dawn yesterday. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration said if the storm maintains its present speed and direction, it would make landfall over the Cagayan, Batanes area by weekend, according to the Bagasa, supervising Undersecretary Graciana Yumel. As of 4 p.m., the center of Queel was spotted at 1,040 kilometers east of Apara, Cagayan, packing winds of at 110 kilometers per hour, near the center of gustiness of up to 145 kilometers per hour. Queel is still too far to directly affect any part of the country, Pagasa said in an advisory issued earlier. It says the storm was forecast to move west at 13 kilometers per hour, and no storm warning signals have been raised as of yesterday morning. So that's the story over there in the Philippines. Another storm happening. And let me see if there's anything else here. There's another storm here. Tropical Storm Ophelia. There's a third storm. Tropical Storm Ophelia causing flooding on the Caribbean island. Storm expected to strengthen. Tropical Storm Ophelia is expected to strengthen into a hurricane as it moves away from the eastern Caribbean island of Dominica. Ophelia has caused flooding and cut off communities on Dominica. About 1,600 people were stranded on the island, and nearly a dozen cars have been washed away. The U.S. National Hurricane Center in Miami said Ophelia is expected to become a hurricane Friday. The storm has a maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour and is moving northward away from the Leeward Islands. It's forecast to head generally past Bermuda this weekend. Tropical storm Philippe is still far from land and moving west-northwest with winds of up to 45 miles per hour. In the Pacific, Tropical Storm Hilary has weakened and is expected to become a remnant low by Friday. So that's the update on those three storms. And let me see if there's anything else, guys. See, as you can see, I have to click these things on because this is a pay site. If you don't pay for it, you'll get this little area, but you won't see the full story. So that's why I ask people, if you can, please click on the ads below in the video itself, because it really helps me pay for sites like this so I can bring you stories. Doesn't cost you guys anything, just a few seconds of your time. And you'd be amazed, even if I get $20 for the whole year, I'll be happy. At least it pays for this site. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do this for you guys. It says storm dousing the Northeast, and this is the last story I wanted to report on, guys. This is the storm that hit our area yesterday, and it's still pretty much hitting our area, but today it's kind of sunny out. It was raining before. It says storm dousing Northeast triggers flash flood warnings. An abstinent storm hugging the mid-Atlantic region in the recent weeks is now embracing the Northeast, where relentless rain predicted through the weekend touched off flash flood warnings on Thursday. The National Weather Service issued flash flood warnings throughout the Catskill Mountains in New York and parts of the Northeast Pennsylvania, where flash flood watches were also issued for huge swaths surrounding Scranton, as well as large areas of western New York, including the cities of Binghamton, Syracuse, Utica, and Oneonta. Persistent heavy rains led to streams and rivers over their banks across the northeastern Pennsylvania and the Catskill regions of New York, said meteorologist Bill Dager on AccuWeather.com. It says more than 3 inches of rain are again possible today over a short amount of time in spots of the Northeast. Wet weather was predicted throughout the Northeast through Sunday, when temperatures were also expected to turn colder. The season's first snow showers were predicted for high ground in the Appalachians, according to the senior meteorologist Alex Sosnowski of AccuWeather.com. And I believe that is it for today, guys. And thought I'd give you those quick updates on those few storms and rain we're having out in the northeast here. Take it easy, folks, and stay safe. This has been Earth Changers News for Thursday, September 29th, 2011.
I'm not afraid to take a stand, take a stand.